Hey guys, Sherry Swift here. It is the last Tuesday before December, the last Tuesday of November before we roll into December. Can you believe that? Unbelievable, extremely exciting. Time to reflect, time to look back. So I want to talk for a few minutes here today about my idea of reflection. My idea of reflection so that we can create space for what's to come forward. And I like to break my idea of reflection down into 2 don'ts and 1 do. So we're going to talk for a few minutes today about 2 don'ts and 1 do as it relates to reflecting so that we can then put this car in drive and go forward with intention in order to be everything that we want to be in 2023, right? Okay. So, start with the first don't. Don't number 1, don't ever compare yourself or your journey to someone else and their journey or their progress. Don't compare your success to someone else's success. I think the biggest mistake that we make very often, salespeople, no matter what industry you're in, if you are an entrepreneur or you're a salesperson, there's a little bit of a competitive nature that lives inside of you. And this competitive itch that we have has the tendency to show up very often at the end of the year. In so many industries, it's driven 100% by the competition that's built up within the industry. So at the end of the year, most industries will have a roster of success. I'm going to grab my coffee here. A roster of success that it measures top producers in this industry or that industry against, mid-level producers, against, the bottom tier producers. So most industries will 100% encourage this comparison. What I want you to know, and I'm giving you permission today, when you sit down to begin your revisit, of 2022 so that you can move forward when we review, I want you to make sure you're not looking to the left or looking to the right to see what your neighbor did. You don't know. You have no idea what their circumstances are, what they're using as leverage. You have no idea what their challenges were, or maybe if you're gonna compare, make sure that you're comparing apples to apples. Well, what do you mean by that, Sherry? Well, what I mean by that is make sure that if you're going to compare, which I am completely against, no comparison, but if you are going to compare, make sure that you compare their work ethic to your work ethic. Make sure that you compare their lead generation habits to your lead generation habits. Make sure that you compare that they're a full-time focused on this in comparison to you being dual career or part-time focused on this. Make sure that you compare the environment that they exist in every day in comparison to the environment that you exist in every day. Make sure that you compare whether or not they have 3 or 4 or 5 children that they're taking care of in comparison to your situation. If you're going to compare, make sure you compare apples to apples. Otherwise, I have to tell you that comparison is the greatest fall of most champions, because it doesn't leave room for you to celebrate where you are, which leads us into the next don't ever lead with perfection as opposed to progress. Don't lead with perfection as opposed to progress. When you sit down and you do your review for the year, you're going to look at everything that you've done, all the tools that you used, all the hours that you worked and didn't work. everything that you started but maybe didn't finish, every time that you started along a track and you fell off and you had to restart. And some of us are so competitive with ourselves that it's ridiculous, and we measure ourselves so hard against us, because it's you versus you. It's you versus you all day long. So I want to strongly encourage that while you're looking back and you're reviewing your progress for 2022, that you give yourself credit for creating the science of who you are. There is no science without failure. You know that, right? You have to fail in order to succeed. So how many times did you start and not finish? You should be celebrating yourself for that, as opposed to looking back and counting all of the imperfection. Imperfection means that you are pushing yourself forward and harder than you are actually comfortable with. And all the opportunity is outside of your comfort zone. If you are comfortable and there's no challenge, of course you're going to be perfect. Why wouldn't you be perfect if it's easy? But when it's not easy, you're going to fail. So number 2, please make sure that you don't measure perfection. Please measure progress. Measure progress and measure it properly, and make sure that you're measuring those failures and those stops and those starts and stops as growth. That's how it should be measured. And then finally, number 1 do as you're reviewing 2022 is going to be to make sure that you are still headed where you thought you wanted to go at the beginning of 2022. Well, wait a minute, Sherry, that was confusing. Say that again. Make sure you started in 2022 and you were like, set your GPS, and you said, this is where I want to go. This is 100% where I want to be. And so you set your GPS with that destination in mind. Things happen. Things change. Mindset adjusts. Babies are born. People that were important to you maybe have left. Your team size has changed. You've decided you want to be a team leader. You've decided against having a team. You decided you need a little coaching because now you realize nobody great does it alone. The reality is, destinations change. They do as we grow and change, and permission to grow and change. I think the challenge a lot of us face is we get so excited about knowing where we want to go, and so we double down on it. We double down on it until it just doesn't make any sense anymore. Like, it is so ridiculous. Other people are looking at it saying, why are you still so excited about this? Is this still where you want to go? When I look at you, I don't see this. Why are you still so excited about this? And we don't even know why we're still so excited about it. It doesn't fit us, our lifestyle, our mindset, our character, who we are anymore. But we're so doubled down on the fact that we made a decision some time ago. And again, that kind of takes us back to this last point. We're looking for perfection. And to us, perfection is not quitting, right? So we're going to double down and just continue to go on the wrong road to the place that we no longer have any desire to be. Seriously, how many of you are right there right now? You're like, why am I still working at this place? Why do I still have this team? Why am I still working with this person? Why haven't I replaced this person yet? Why haven't I set out to go get that new opportunity yet? But because you're measuring yourself on that second dope that we discussed a few seconds ago, perfection against progress, you refuse to make an adjustment. So you're on the road to your absolute worst nightmare. because it's not even where you want to be anymore. So give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to adjust. Adjust based upon what you want today. So give yourself permission to sit down in a still and quiet place and analyze who you've become over the last year and how you've changed. How you've changed. And as a result of those changes, what do you need right now? And are you perfectly aligned with people, support, tools, partnerships? Are you perfectly aligned to have everything that you need to have to be who you want to be in 2023? Or now that you measure it, maybe you're on the wrong road, headed in the wrong direction. I don't care how great the scenery is. Yeah, you're moving, but that road doesn't lead there. So, as you review and as you measure, make sure that you are measuring based upon what your now desired destination is. Listen, New Year is coming. Permission to celebrate all of your progress. Permission to only measure against yourself, you versus you, not what your neighbor's doing, not what their challenges are. And then finally, permission to change where you need to change in order to truly make the necessary adjustments to be who you want to be in 2023. All right, here we grow again. Make it a fantastic day. December's around the bend. Let me know what I can.